Welcome to Vicarious Vision, a product of Vicarious Multimedia. I'm Melanie Santos-Stefano. I'm the founder and president of Vicarious Multimedia. I'd also like to introduce Eddie Polenzani, who's with me today.
Hello.
Hello. Eddie joined our team recently as a communications associate. And I'm proud of the fact that we actually brought Eddie on. My dog is coming in the shot, but that's all right.
Hey, it's quarantine. It's good to highlight your pets. They bring joy
in
to
the
our
home
lives.
studio. Come here, Hockey. Pop up in the. Aw, his little head isn't showing. Oh, there he is. Good boy.
That's a cute pupper.
So this is reality. Dogs are hanging out in the home offices as we quarantine. So basically, one of the things I love is that we brought Eddie on. We had initially discussed bringing him on board prior to all of this pandemic nonsense. And once it hit, I started to think about how are we going to bring on a new team member remotely, because I think our strengths is our team and how we work together in the same space and collaborate. So thought about it for a little while, and I ended up taking a gamble, and Eddie, you are our first remote hired person. You've never set step in our office other than for your interviews, and it's been working out really nice. Eddie and I are teaming up for Vicarious Vision, so in future episodes, Eddie will be here with me interviewing different people. One of the things, though, before we get on to what Vicarious Vision is what I loved about Eddie's background is he comes from a similar background that I do, which is radio. And
yes, ma'am.
I consider radio to be an excellent training ground for communications. You really have to be able to think on your feet, obviously know how to write and communicate verbally. And so I'm excited to have Eddie join us. Thank you, Eddie, for joining us.
Thank you.
I think you're going to be an amazing asset. So today we're here to tell you a little bit about what Vicarious Vision is and what our vision is for what this is meant to accomplish. So over the course of the next several weeks and probably beyond, we are wanting to talk with different business and organization leaders and hear about how they have been working around and through this pandemic to continue to do what they do, whether that's a business or a nonprofit or a local government organization or another group that is continuing to thrive and survive, because that's the name of the game. It's about survival and how we can all be creative and resilient and challenge ourselves to do what we need to do. A little bit about, similar to what I said about Eddie, it was my first challenge of actually having, and I don't think many of us have had that, where, if you're a business owner or an organizational leader and want to bring a team member on, you aren't able to bring them into your physical space. So while that's been a challenge, we've gotten creative over here, and that's how Vicarious Vision was actually born. So I'm proud of that. And so today we're just going to break down a little bit about it and about Vicarious Multimedia as a firm. And we're going to talk about it. So take it away, Eddie.
Yeah, it definitely was not like your typical new job introduction where you have the interview and, okay, when are you going to start? Here's your start day. Cool, we're hitting the ground running. So this has been an interesting experience for me too, to say the least. Yeah. But I want to thank you for sure, Melanie, right off the bat, just for even taking the time to think of this project and to find a way to incorporate me, because I could see as a business owner yourself, it would be easier to just say, we'll wait to figure out what we're going to do with this kid until after this pandemic business clears up. But I mean, that says something about who you are as a business owner and how valuable your assets are and your team, like how you value your team members. So thanks for that. And I think I could speak for both of us. We're both creative people. Without having a project, we start to go a little bit stir crazy, I think. Would you agree?
Yes, I would. This was fun to think about. Yeah.
It's been a nice little distraction. It's been something to kind of focus the creative juices on, the Vicarious Vision project. Mm-hmm. And I think it's shaping up to be something pretty special. So you mentioned briefly already that you wanted to be putting the spotlight on small businesses. I can't help but see the irony that Vicarious Multimedia is a small business that has started in one place and it's grown into something else, and it's still growing. So do you want to maybe give us a little more background about where you came from and how you started Vicarious Multimedia, how it came to be what it is today?
Sure. So, well, we're going to go back to 2004. So we're going on 16 years ago. I had actually just left radio, a morning talk show that I did similar to where Eddie came from. And it was funny because I remember being in the studio and starting to think up this concept about going on the other side and creating a communications firm to gain highlight and spotlight for different businesses. I come from a family of small business owners. My father, mother, 3 of my uncles, and an aunt of mine all had small businesses. So I grew up watching entrepreneurs build things. And so
in your DNA.
A little bit, just kind of the examples I saw in front of me. One of my aunt who has a really successful moving company. I remember being in her kitchen when we were kids, and my cousin on her side, and she's in her kitchen on the phone, like making a deal. I remember hearing her literally kind of going through this whole okay, we're going to do this and that. And that was the beginning and kind of the birth of her business, which is still in business today. My father had a flooring countertop cabinet business. So did my 2 uncles. One uncle had a seal coating business, and my mother had home daycare. So watching all of that, it kind of translates into what is one of my personal mantras, which is thoughts become things. And I really was starting to think about this concept of not working for anybody, because I was always a little bit hard-headed, and my former bosses would tell you that. So I thought about creating my own company and doing it in my own way. And so that's when it was born in 2004. I was living in Chicago. I like to say I was living in a little apartment in Little Italy in Chicago with a laptop I could barely afford, and rent I could barely.
A little laptop, right?
It was actually a big laptop. They used to be bigger.
I assumed you were sticking with the theme. It's Little Italy, a little apartment.
Little with a big laptop.
Okay. At least you had something big going on, right?
That was about it.
Yeah.
It's funny because technology has gotten smaller and bigger. I remember having a phone that was this big, and now the phones have gotten bigger.
Right.
But anyway, so it was big back then. They've gotten a little smaller. But anyway, so just thinking this up, and it became, kind of a, hey, this is something new and I'm doing it, and everyone, check it out. And it was hard to build. So in 2004, I was in the city. I ended up moving to Palatine and stayed with my dad as I started to slowly grow this business. And 16 years later is a long time to say, and now 16 years later, but it's taken 16 years, and it's been a slow build. It's been challenging, stressful, rewarding, amazing, exciting. Every day, I will tell you, for anyone out there who either has a business or runs an organization, or someone who's even thinking about doing anything like that, I wake up every day and I want to make this company better. And that tells me I'm on the right track, because I don't get tired of our work. Sometimes I get stressed out about our work, but I love it. And that's really one of the keys. So that's kind of the origin of Vicarious, entrepreneur background, really kind of jumped off with both feet and started it. And it takes time, but if you're dedicated, it can happen. So,
yeah, if I may get a little cliche here, I would even say that your story and how you started Vicarious, that's like the definition of the American dream right there.
Yeah, actually, that's going to be another, I don't know about this yet, Eddie, but that's going to be another video series that we do, American Dream Stories. We've already started to line up interviews for that. We haven't talked about that because we've been focusing on Vicarious Vision, but that's going to be another one. Because
another brick in the house of Vicarious, if you will.
Yes, we're building a big brick building.
Big brick house. Yeah, right now it's like a brick apartment, but it's going to be a huge house, right?
Let's make it a condo, a really nice condo.
A nice condo.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's admirable that you've gotten it to where it is now, and obviously the care that you put into it shows, because you take care of your clients, and that's one of the biggest factors of success is showing that you, pardon my French, but that you give a crap, you know? I was going to say give an S word, but, you know, who knows who's watching this. I know also just firsthand, like you were talking about just how you would try to think of ways to bring me on. You've had to change how you've had to do business with the whole COVID-19 pandemic. So what are some of the ways that Vicarious Multimedia has had to adjust, how Vicarious is still successfully doing business with clients? Just tell us a little bit about that.
Well, we were fortunate in a few things. One was that we do have the ability to work virtually, but like I mentioned earlier, part of what I love is
But it's got its limitations, yeah.
Yeah, but one of the things that is great is the collaboration and creativity that goes on between our team, because we are a creative firm at the end of the day. So in kind of in-person interactions, there's an energy to that. Before you came on board, we were working on a video project, and there was 5 of us in a room in our offices. And it was funny because we are in a space with other businesses too, and we all got really loud and excited and had all these amazing ideas. And after we came out of the meeting room, there were people saying like, "What was going on in there?" And I'm like, "That's the creative process." And it's exciting.
We're just having a meeting and just having a business meeting, you know.
Well, maybe we're a little more upbeat than some of the people in the space. Not that they're not upbeat, but it was very just kind of bright and exciting and ideas flowing. And so that is something that we don't have right now, but we have, in answer to your question, we've started, like everyone else, or, you know, virtual meetings. We are using Zoom, little plug for Zoom. That's been working for us. Or go to meeting with certain clients. But so our adjustment is that we are regularly now meeting virtually with clients, because part of our value offering is high touch with clients, because we are in essence communicating, you know, who they are, what they do, how they provide value on their behalf. So we have to be in touch with our clients. So now our monthly in touch meetings have to be through Zoom. So that's an adjustment. Our team meetings and our team, we've had a couple happy hours too, which I got to plan another one of those, because I'm trying to make sure our team, in addition to our meetings about work, we also stay connected. And that is,
yeah,
you know, we are human beings. And so I want to make sure that I'm
in touch with that human element. Yeah.
Yeah, so those are the two things. But we've been fortunate because many times we are working virtually for clients. So that hasn't completely impacted us, as opposed to people who physically have to be in a space to do their job, you know.
Right. So it's not completely foreign territory, but you're just doing it a little more than usual.
Yes. So that's been fortunate. And then we are also fortunate in that a large percentage of our clients are what you would classify as essential, whether they be local government or a business organization that still has members who need to be communicated with. Nonprofits that are providing social services also too are still in operation. And the interesting thing about the pandemic is communications have actually risen to the top, because people have needed to have information in order to know what to do, even down to, you know, you need to wear a face cover now, per the governor's
Right.
is in effect today. So letting people know that this is now a legal requirement that you wear a face cover while in public. So long story short, we have been fortunate in the way that most of our clients are still in operation. We worked virtually previously, so it's not a terrible adjustment, just a bit of one. And and then I guess the biggest kind of pivot we've done is created this new product, Vicarious Vision. And it really did grow out of the pandemic, because I have observed through clients and through business owner friends of mine what they have done to remain, you know, vital and strong,
Right.
trying to change their approach so they can remain relevant and continue to do business and not, you know, go away. So that's how this came about, because I really want to provide a platform for others to hear their stories, and we've got some good stories that are going to be coming. So
Yeah, I would say it was a good idea to do this just with you and me right now, because this is a perfect preview of what you're going to see as we talk to more people, more business owners in the coming weeks. We just want to hear their stories and what they're doing, and it's not just. I want to point out too, it's not meant to just be a sad thing, like, oh, our business has taken this hit because of the pandemic. It really highlights people's creativity too, because
Yes.
they're finding ways to still be innovative and
Yes.
keep their name alive during all this. So it kind of forces people to be creative. And I think it's important to highlight that as well.
Absolutely. And really one of my end goals is to provide inspiration for people and
Yeah.
them to see how they too could, I like to call it pivoting, right? We're all doing a little pivoting right now, and maybe for some more pivoting than others, right? Where we have to adjust to the world we're in. And I think I sent a message out to one of our clients this morning. I said, well, now it's the next new normal, because there's been a lot of new normals happening. I think my date was March 12th, and actually you were supposed to start on March 24th, and we got you in shortly after that. But that was and I remember you called me, and I'm like, I'm not sure how to do this, honey.
I kind of had a feeling that was going to happen, but figured I'd better touch base anyway.
Yes. Well, I'm glad that we figured it out. So anyway, so that's pretty much what, the goal of what Vicarious Vision is, and I want it to accomplish, is really to provide a vehicle for people to tell how they're making it happen. So that's really the goal of it.
Great. So are there particular people that you're really psyched about talking to? Anyone that you want to maybe tell people about now, or do you want to keep it a surprise?
Well, I'm gonna, I'll preview our first guest. It's going to be the executive chef at Dirty Nelly's, and for those of you that know, this business has been around since 1972, so that's a long time, and gone through a very hard couple of years, because for those of you that remember, January of 2019, they had a major fire that closed them down for a few months. Truth be told, they are a client, and we were with them through that whole process of trying to reopen their doors and gain back their clientele who had been without them for 3 months, and people found other places to go. And they were just turning a corner, had reopened fully. The whole place, from the fire had to be completely rehabilitated on the inside, like down to the nuts and bolts in places. And then we were kind of getting them to a good point, and then the pandemic hit. And so they have been very resilient while they can't have their bar open, right?
Or the music venue, unfortunately.
And the music venue.
A big part of their business too.
That's huge, right? That's like what they're known for. So, but we're going to hear from their executive chef in the next episode of Vicarious Vision on how they are working to make it happen. So it's going to be a good one. Aaron Agarwal, he's a great guy, business owner, and very creative and ingenuitive and talented. So
they got good food at Nelly's. I've eaten there a few times, and great selection of beer on tap. So I really look forward to the day when I can go to their bar again for sure. Awesome. Well, I can't wait to talk to you.
Yeah, totally. So
I
was saying, well, we don't know when, but it's coming, but we just don't know exactly when, which is the other challenge. We don't really know where this is going to exactly land yet, because we're in new territory. So that's why creativity is absolutely essential right now, to kind of roll with this punch and figure out how to make it happen until things hopefully come back to whatever the next new normal is.
Well said, Melanie. Very well said. So I guess we'll end it on this note, since we kind of gave the Cliff Notes version of what Vicarious Vision is all about, what it aims to accomplish. If there's any business owners out there that might be watching this, that would be interested in talking to us about how they've had to adjust and reinvent themselves, what could they do to reach out to us?
Yeah, please send us an email or give us a call. We would love to hear your stories and help to provide a place for you to tell them. So you could either email engage@vicariousmm.com or give us a call at our office line, 224-3. What's our office?
Are you blanking on the office number?
Yes. What's our office
You know
number?
what?
It's on our website.
These
2246.
days, everyone just goes on their phone and just
I
looks
know
up everything.
our office number. I'm at our office. 224-633-3120. That's our office number. So drop us a line, email.
One more time, that number is?
What'd you say?
One more time, that number is?
224-633-3120.
There you go. All right. Well, thank you for sharing your story, Melanie, the American Dream story. I can't wait to hear more about that, by the way.
Yeah.
Excited to be a part of this new project that we got going, and I'm excited to do more projects with you as we press forward.
Me too. You've been a great asset. So thanks everyone for watching, and check back soon. We'll be back with more Vicarious Vision.